Hi, my submarine friends in the world. I participated in the ISC International Submarine Congress held in Pula, Croatia in 2016. It was my first attendance of ISC and the first trip to Croatia. I was very impressed with this trip. During this trip to Pula, I heard about the movie Sound of Music and Captain Pontrap, and I was curious about what Sound of Music related to submarine. I've came back home and I've searched some history, and now I'd like to share some information that I found with my submarine friends. It may be common knowledge for you in the West countries, but I hope you understand that it was a very interesting discovery of history for me, who grew up in the East country. I watched the Sound of Music movie again and asked myself some questions to find the answer. The first question is, are Maria and Captain Fontra real people? They are real people and have taken their real names. The picture you can see is the wedding ceremony between Maria and Fontrap 1927. There was a partial adaptation, but the whole story is based on a true story. In addition, the following movie story, Maria came from a convent. There were seven children of the ex-wife. They had a family choir. They won first place at the Salzburg music contest. Fontra family escaped Austria from German army. All of these are true. The second question is, was there a navy in Austria at that time? Of course, there is no sea in Austria now and no navy. Even in the 1930s, just before World War II, the background of the movie, there was also no navy in Austria. But before 1918, when World War I ended, Austria had a powerful navy. The Austro-Hungarian Empire was once the strongest country in Europe. The country that was light green before World War I was divided into Austria and Hungary, as well as Czechoslovakia, Romania, Yugoslavia, and Bulgaria. This picture shows the great naval power of Austro-Hungarian Empire at the beginning of World War I. There were more than 50 destroyers and huge vessels like Dreadnought class, the largest battleship in World War I, include six submarines. During World War I, they received 21 more submarines from Germany. The third question, in the movie there is a scene where the first daughter tells her boyfriend, "Dad is a big naval hero." What kind of big naval hero is Von Trapp? Von Trapp in the movie is a civilian, but he puts on navy uniform to his children and trains them with a boson pipe. He wears a navy uniform even when married. Even though the navy is already gone, there seems to be a lot of pride in the navy. His full name is Georg Ludwig Ritter von Trapp. He was one of the most famous submarine commanders of World War I. Von Trapp was born on 4th April 1880, joined the Navy in 1894, and applied for a submarine in 1908. And from 1910 to 1913, he was the commanding officer of the U-6. U-6 was commissioned on July 1st, 1910, and was used as a training ship until the war. The U-6 is an American Holland-class submarine that was partially built in the United States and then built by the Whitehead Company in Austria, now Rijeka, Croatia. The Post-World War broke out on 28 June 1914, and on 17 April 1915, von Trapp took his position as commanding officer of U-5. This is von Trapp on the bridge. The U-5 was one of 4 submarines available during the war. The U-5 was the same type of submarine as the U-6. It was 32.11 meters long, 240 tons of surface, and 2 torpedo tubes 48 centimeters in diameter. It was equipped with a gasoline engine and had a crew of 19 people. Von Trapp had 9 patrols on U-5, where he showed his great ability as a submarine commander. On the 26th April 1915, 9 days after taking commander, the French flagship heavy cruiser 12,512 ton Leon Gambetta was discovered. At night, U-5 fired 2 torpedoes on the water and hit both of them. This attack is the first submarine attack in the Adria to successfully perform underwater night attack. Leon Gambetta was sunk in 10 minutes. 648 people died, including Rear Admiral Victor Baptistin. This had a big impact on the Allies, and on the poster of the sinking scene you see, the U-5 is also visible. And on the day of 5th August 1915, the U-5 found the Italian submarine Nereide. First, Nereide fired 1 torpedo to U-5, but the torpedo was not hit, and then the torpedo fired by U-5 sank Nereide, and the whole crew of Nereide was killed. This engagement is recorded as a rare submarine versus submarine fighting during World War I. Subsequently, U-5 sank a 1,034-ton Greek steamer Cephalonia on the 29th of August 1915. At the end of November 1915, von Trapp handed over the U-5 and took over as a commanding officer of U-14. U-14, commanded by von Trapp, had a special history. It was originally the French crew, but after the war, the crew attempted to infiltrate the port of Pula, the home port of the Austrian Navy, and was caught in a defense net. And she was sunk, died some of the crew, and the rest of them were captured. Austria lifted crew from underwater, repaired and upgraded it, and used it as a U-14. This submarine was a very modern submarine at the time, measuring 42.1 meters in length and 550 tons when submerged. Von Trapp had a tremendous record on U-14. The entire screen you can see the record by von Trapp on U-14. In this way, von Trapp patrolled 19 times as a commander of 2 submarines, U-5 and U-14, sank a total of 45,669 tons of 13 Allied ships, and captured 1 merchant ship. He was the best commander of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, with the most records of which no surface ship and submarine commanders have ever been. He received numerous medals, but among them, as the U-5 commander, the sunk of the French flagship Navy cruiser Leon Gambetta earned Austria's best decoration of the Knight's Cross. Even in the movie, he is wearing the Knight's Cross decoration. The fourth question is: von Trapp family lives in luxury mansion in the movie. Even it is true that he is a national war hero, but as a retired officer, is it realistic? In the movie, it is said that von Trapp is rich. Actually, he was a very rich man. So how did he get rich? The picture is of his first wedding in 1911. His first wife's name is Agathe Whitehead. Whitehead, isn't that the name you ever heard of? Yes, I told the shipyard was called Whitehead when von Trapp appointed as the commanding officer of U-6. The founder of the company is the grandfather of von Trapp's first wife, Agathe Whitehead. This is the person. He is an Englishman who is entitled to be the father of modern torpedoes. British Whitehead developed torpedoes, and at that time the British did not believe its performance and refused to use it. At that time, the Austrian Emperor Franz Joseph acknowledged its value and provided a factory in Rijeka and invited Whitehead to Austria. Whitehead was a torpedo developer, but he was also involved in other business and made a lot of money. His love for granddaughter was very special, and he passed on his legacy to Agathe, the wife of von Trapp. Usually, a lady breaks champagne when launching a ship. The picture is for reference. Agatha Whitehead was the lady who broke champagne when launching U-6. At that moment, von Trapp was the commanding officer of U-6. This event triggered von Trapp and Agathe to get married. But unfortunately, after 11 years of marriage, she raised 7 children and died of a fever. In this way, the von Trapp family lives in a mansion like this movie. The fifth question is, what is the real rank of von Trapp? First, let's look at the Austrian Navy insignia. If you look at the photo, when von Trapp got married for this first time, he was a lieutenant, and the second time married, he was a lieutenant commander. In the movie, von Trapp demanded to call him as a captain, and everyone around him also called him Captain von Trapp. Captain here means commanding officer, not the naval rank captain. However, in some other versions of the movie, the rank of von Trapp is misrepresented as a captain. In conclusion, the last rank of von Trapp was lieutenant commander. This is the sixth and the last question. Von Trapp was born in 1880 and Germany occupied Austria in 1938 and then tried to bring von Trapp into the German Navy. At this time, Captain von Trapp is 58 years old. Why did the German Navy need an old von Trapp? Von Trapp received a telegram from Berlin. Berlin is the headquarters of the German Navy. The place to go is Bremerhaven. It's one of German submarine bases. Germany needed Captain von Trapp's reputation and wanted to use his combat experience in the battle of German U-boats in Second World War. So far, I tried to answer the questions I had. The von Trapp family moved to the United States through Italy just before the outbreak of World War II in 1938. And his family music band toured the country and did a lot of activities, and even now the traces of the von Trapp's family remains in the United States. Captain von Trapp was 25 years elder than his second wife Maria. He had 3 more children with Maria, so he had a total of 10 children. When he got the last son, he was 59 years old. He died of lung cancer in the United States at the age of 67. Sound of Music is a movie that came out because there was a person named von Trapp who lived with pride as a submariner and loved himself and his country. I missed the Beast Pula, which made me to know the background of this movie. Best regards to our Croatian friends with Viva Croatia.